So, traders, the Nifty has slipped for 5 consecutive weeks. It has closed convincingly, comfortably below the psychological 25,000 mark. And so, a big question comes up. What's next? The index is very close to a level from where it has bounced back multiple times in the recent past. And is it going to be one such more event? Will this support work this time as well or not? If it doesn't, how far can it fall? And if it bounces back, which sectors and stocks can help that? So come join me. Let's take a look at the Nifty. Let's take a look at the sectors. We'll of course use the RRG graphs. Try and anticipate what's in store for us next week. Come, let's take a look. So let's begin. This is our usual weekly and daily time frame. I have the usual next price indicator with the state of flow and the next RSI. And let's try and figure out what's happening with the Nifty. First thing, I'm going to focus on the left hand side chart, which is the daily time frame. And for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to use the bar chart. Because if I use the bar chart, आपको clearly दिखेगा, you will be able to see very clearly the 5 red bars on a close to close basis. The index has fallen straight 5 weeks. Now I was sharing this in my last week's live interaction with my mentees, is that iske pehle bhi, even before this the index has fallen for 5 weeks, successive 5 weeks. But ye jo this time, this 5 weeks fall is a little bit more painful or a little bit more disappointing. Now the reason why I'm saying this is because 5 weeks back we had a breakout, and before that breakout we had a 6-week consolidation, range bound price activity, choppiness, frustration, और 6 हफ्तों के बाद जब एक breakout मिला, things were starting to look better. We had a nice momentum driven move. But uske baad, after that, the breakout did not sustain. In fact, the breakout completely failed, and the next 5 weeks and the next multiple days, the market has come down. And so I think that this is the reason why it makes this particular 5 weeks fall a little bit more disappointing, a little bit more frustrating. So taking a look at the weekly with the Heikin-Ashi in place, my state of flow is still positive, which is telling me that overall structure, थोड़ा सा अगर intermediate to long term देखे, then the overall structure of the weekly chart is still positive. It's the momentum which is slipping. And yes, the Heikin-Ashi has given 2 negative Heikins, which means that short term it's slowing down. It is coming down. अगर हम 4-5 हफ्ते का टाइम फ्रेम से निकल के थोड़ा सा स्लाइटली लार्जर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अगर देखें, देन वी कैन क्लियरली सी कि एक मल्टी वीक रैली के बाद वी आर गेटिंग अ मच नीडेड करेक्शन. एंड सो इन दिस पर्सपेक्टिव ये इतना ख़राब नहीं दिखता है, ये इतना ख़राब नहीं लगता है. हाँ, फ्रॉम अ शॉर्ट टर्म पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, एंड वी विल एनालाइज द डेली चार्ट ओवर हियर. From a short-term point of view, when we take a look at the daily time frame, yes, it is frustrating. It has gone through series of ebbs and flows on the downside. State of the market is negative. State of flow, trend, momentum, all the markers are negative on the daily time frame. So, after a significant multi-month rally, the market is correcting for 5 consecutive weeks. This correction has come right after a successful breakout, and now at the current juncture, it is at important supports. ये supports पहले भी resistance का काम करते थे. That's back in I think May, early May. उसके बाद all throughout this period, it had acted as a good source of support. ये 24,400-500 के आसपास है, and that's exactly where we are trading right now. And जैसे मैंने इंट्रो में आपको बताया that $1 million question is, are we going to see another bounce back or not? ठीक है. Now, to expect the bounce back, we should see first slowdown of selling. Kya wo hai? The answer is no. On the Nifty chart we're talking about, the answer is no. Slowdown of selling means smaller sized Heiken, upper shadows, turning around with a green Heiken shadow on the upside, etc., etc. And it's lacking. It's not there at the current juncture. It's just that it's at supports. Slowdown of selling means maybe it is breaking down lows and some divergence is forming. Is it there as of now? No, the answer is no. Ban sakta hai, maybe Monday we can see something, but as of now, right in front of us, the answer is no. So jo dikhta nahi hai means if I can't see any sign of momentum selling slowdown, if I don't see any sign of contrarian divergences, how can I make a statement that the market will bounce back from here just because of the fact in the past it has bounced back? I think that's a little foolish thing to say. So it's better to wait for the confirmation from price. Who other than, price to give us the confirmation? So the daily chart is not suggesting, and that's why we should keep a bearish view from the daily time frame. Agar daily ka bearishness or weekly ka okay bullishness ko add kare, then we can say that you should be selectively bullish, you should be cautiously bullish. If you're a long only trader, aapko to trade is mahol mein milega hi nahi. You have to wait for the markets to bounce back, so stay away. Simple, stay away from the market. Don't try to push yourself and find a trade. Right? On the upside, if the market starts to bounce back, 5 hafte se gir raha hai, 1 hafte ka bounce back to banta hi hai, let's say something like that, then the first couple of things that you should keep in mind is Friday's high and most importantly, last Thursday's high. These are the two levels, out of which the last Thursday's high is the most important, जो कि 25,000 के बहुत पास है. It's very close to that psychological 25,000 level. Unless these two levels are taken out on the upside, do not be overly excited and bullish in the market. On the downside, if the market breaks down this, there will be a little bit of flurry of, I think, selling momentum. It can lead to stop losses getting hit and it can bounce back. That can also happen. But if it stays down and weak just like the way it is, then losing another 500 points, matlab 24,500 se 24,000 tak, I don't think it's going to be too difficult for the market. So we can expect a retest of 24,000, which is close to these lows. But we'll take a look at it step by step, one day at a time. No hurry. That's the Nifty behind us. What about the mid cap and the small cap? Amongst the broader market indices, the mid and small caps were performing much better. Where? Because both of them had come very close to their all-time highs. And the recent sell-off, जो last week का sell-off था, वो काफ़ी serious, sharp, momentum-driven था, and it has closed almost at the lowest point of the week. So it has caught up. जो I think अगर हम लोग 10 हफ्ते को देखें, and we will see that in the RRG graphs, the relative strength that the small cap and mid cap was showing us, it's kind of slipping away now very fast. So again, I'll ask the same questions both to the small cap and mid cap charts. Are there any signs of momentum or selling slowdown? No. Are there any signs of opposite positive divergences for the short-term trend to reverse? The answer is no. So, which means stay away. Both these charts are also telling us to stay away. I am making an assumption here that most of us are long-only traders and staying away is for the long-only trader. If you're a derivative trader, then you would have got flushed with a lot of shorting opportunities last week. And even going forward, I think you might get some opportunities. But all this analysis, all these discussions that I'm doing right now are predominantly from the point of view of a long-only trader. Now let's bring in our RRG graphs, shall we? So let's open a new Chrome window. Let's drag it over here from my other screen. There you are. And let's open the Strike Analytics page. Let's go to the RRG graph section, which is here. First, let's change the indices to the NSE sectoral indices, which we have made a watch list of our own. Next, make the benchmark to Nifty 500. Next, change the time frame to weekly. And final, increase the number of counts to around 12 or 13, like 3 months, okay? Fit it to the center, and this is our last 13 weeks RRG graphs of the various sectors. Surprising to see that many names are there in the leading quadrant and very few, only one is there in the lagging quadrant. We'll start with the leading and we'll sort it first in terms of percentage changes. And small cap has been the biggest price gainer in the last 13 weeks. It's in the leading quadrant. It is slipping a little bit vertically, which means it is losing RS momentum. It's slowing down. Midcap is also there with a 6.5% gain in the last 13 weeks, and it's also behaving very similar. Small cap seems to be better placed. Now we have discussed both these charts. They were strong charts. They are relatively stronger charts, but of late in the last 2 weeks, they have fallen, and they have fallen sharp. Zor ka girawat aaya hai. And that's why they're angling down. Based on the price analysis and RRG graph analysis, they are strong charts and यहाँ पे shorts नहीं करना चाहिए और जब turn around होगा तब आप यहाँ पे long जा सकते हो. जब turn around होगा means when the selling slows down, when we get a short-term reversal, then. So don't try to pick the bottom. Stay bullish, stay away, wait for the right time, wait for the right price. Apart from the small and mid cap, we have the Realty, which is looking very good in terms of its positioning, but it's losing vertical distance, means it's losing momentum of relative strength. When we come to the chart and we come to the CNX Realty index, we do see a multi-legged correction, right? And the weekly chart has corrected quite a bit of this entire rally, I think more than 50-60%. And on the daily time frame, I have drawn this particular range. It's more or less there. We can say it's a perceived support. एक support बन सकता है ये area, ये region. And when I see prices at an important zone range, what will I look out for? I will look out for again the same thing. Selling slowdown हो रहा है क्या? Divergence बन रहा है क्या? Reversal का chance है क्या? We can do it in either a top-down approach, sector को देख के stocks देख सकते हैं, या फिर in this market you can also do a bottom-up approach. मतलब आप DLF को देखिए, ओबेरॉय रियल्टी को देखिए, गोदरेज प्रॉपर्टीज़ को देखिए, लोधा को देखिए, top 4-5 charts, because if they are at supports, if they are forming some kind of a divergence, if they are reversing their short-term trend, then their strength, their move will show in the move of the CNX Realty. So Realty is at supports. The chart is very weak. The chart is not that great. And we can get a reversal, but again, keep it on your watch list. जो भी sectors आपके RRG में leading quadrant में हैं, you can keep them from the point of view of a bounce back. But wait for the confirmation. Then go for the trade. Similar kind of a feeling, should we get in metals? Not really. Metals has traveled in the last 13 weeks and it has touched almost all the quadrants. It is in the leading quadrant, but very, very close to the 0 point. मतलब इसमें उतना relative strength नहीं है. इसमें उतना relative strength का जो momentum होता है वो भी उतना खास नहीं है. It's been doing a lot of late. Last 3 महीने में इसने बहुत कुछ किया है. This is what the RRG graph is telling us. And now when we take a look at the CNX metal index, what do we see? Yes, it has been doing quite a bit of late. आपको याद होगा, if you follow these weekly videos of mine, we had drawn this broadening formation. और मैंने आपको ये भी I think बताया था that these kind of broadening formation, not always, but many a time, एक diamond shape ले सकता है. मतलब something like this. अब ऊपर से ये already has made a lower high, तो I can draw this trend line. But नीचे से इसने अभी तक higher low नहीं बनाया है. जब ये higher low अगर if it makes, then हमें ये diamond formation मिलेगा and उस diamond formation का जो breakout होगा वो trend decide करने वाला है. अब वो तो future का बात है, maybe not. Let's come to the current juncture. Not a bad weekly chart. Weekly chart उतना भी खराब actually नहीं है, right? Let me blow out the weekly chart. एक करके देखते हैं, so आपको और clearly समझ में आएगा. Weekly chart has just started to come off. उसके पहले even till last week, it was not a bad weekly reading. सो वीकली चार्ट is structurally okay. RRG लीडिंग पे है तो ख़राब नहीं है. वी कैन कीप देम एज आवर बुलिश सेक्टर्स. अब डेली पे आते हैं. अब डेली पे अपने को ये ब्रॉडनिंग फॉर्मेशन दिख रहा है. शॉर्ट टर्म स्टेट ऑफ फ्लो हैज़ टर्न नेगेटिव. ट्रेंड मोमेंटम एवरीथिंग इज नेगेटिव. वापस इसी लोज के आसपास आ रहा है. विल इट बाउंस बैक और नॉट, दैट टाइम विल टेल अस. अगेन द सेम inference. Wait for the metals to give us some sign of support and a bounce back. View bullish होना चाहिए because weekly chart bullish है. View bullish होना चाहिए because RRG graph भी leading quadrant पे. और दो sectors है यहाँ पे, sectoral charts है यहाँ पे इस leading quadrant पे. That is the PSU bank and the energy. Now off late PSU bank were outperforming the private sector banks. We know this. एंड लीडिंग क्वाड्रेंट पे है, बहुत ज़्यादा रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ नहीं है, बट इट्स ओके. RRG इज बुलिश. विद दैट इन माइंड, इफ वी कम टू द चार्ट्स ओवर हियर एंड वी टेक अ लुक एट द CNX PSU बैंक, पहले वीकली देख लेते हैं. वी सी दैट दिस रेजिस्टेंस इज होल्डिंग द इंडेक्स डाउन फॉर क्वाइट सम टाइम, एंड लास्ट वीक इट हैज़ कम डाउन. It has created a negative heiken. The short-term trend has turned down. Structure is still okay. My state of flow is just gone away. Just. Last week तक भी hold करने का कोशिश कर रहा था with this HAGB. But last week के correction के बाद it has slipped. So a relatively strong move slipping. Weekly chart. डेली चार्ट पे अगर आए तो हाँ, अपने को ये दिख रहा है. इट हैड बीन रेंज बाउंड. इट वाज स्ट्रगलिंग टू होल्ड ऑन टू इट. एंड लास्ट वीक के करेक्शन के बाद ट्रेंड, मोमेंटम, स्टेट ऑफ फ्लो, एवरीथिंग इज गॉन डाउन. जस्ट लाइक द निफ्टी, जस्ट लाइक मैनी सेक्टर्स, एक इम्पॉर्टेंट लेवल पे है विच हैज़ एक्टेड एज सपोर्ट इन द पास्ट, विच वॉज रेजिस्टेंस इन द फर्दर पास्ट. एंड सो अगेन द सेम नैरेटिव that prices are close to perceived supports. Trend momentum in the short term are down. I have to wait for the selling to slow down. I maybe will look out for some sign of positive divergences. I will be look out the main stocks. I will be keeping an eye on SBI, Bank of Baroda, PNB, और देखेंगे कि within the top 4 to 5 heavyweights कहाँ वो movement आ सकता है. And we should not forget earnings are going on. And that's why, I would strongly suggest to stay away trading those names जिनके earnings this coming week में है, right, from a trading point of view. So PSU Bank, similar kind of a story. Bullish view, stay away, wait for the right time. And the last sector which is there in the leading quadrant is energy. Energy was doing good. Energy was traveling from improving towards leading, but it started losing momentum and now it's right at zero over here. Doesn't have that momentum anymore. It has a little bit of strength, but it does not have the momentum. Let's take a look at the price and try and understand. Energy from the weekly point of view, again, very, very similar to what we were finding in our metals reading also. State of flow was positive, but for the last 2 weeks it has slipped. It has not gone negative, but it has, come out of that strength, that zone of strength. Come to the daily and आपको ये clear sign of state of flow negative on the daily time frame दिखेगा. Again the same narrative, मुझे पता है I'm repeating the same thing again, but क्या करे, जो है वो है. And keep it in the bullish watch list. Wait for the reversal. Energy also has some important names like your Reliance, ONGC, etc. OMCs are also there. So ध्यान रखिएगा if we can get any reversal. But as of now, are there any signs of reversal? No, there are not. ये रहा अपना लीडिंग क्वाड्रेंट. अब आते हैं वीकनिंग क्वाड्रेंट पे. एंड वीकनिंग क्वाड्रेंट विल नॉट बी मच ऑफ एन इशू फॉर अस बिकॉज ये जो प्राइवेट सेक्टर नेम्स, CNX फाइनेंस एंड बैंक निफ्टी, इफ यू रिमेंबर फॉर मल्टीपल वीक्स दे आर ऑल एंगलिंग डाउन लाइक दिस. और निफ्टी PAC हैज़ जॉइंड द लिस्ट, इट हैज़ ऑल्सो कम डाउन. दिस इज द वीकनिंग क्वाड्रेंट, मतलब दे आर वीकनिंग. अर्स्ट वाइल स्ट्रॉन्ग थे, लीडिंग क्वाड्रेंट पे थे, नाउ दे आर स्लोइंग डाउन. Now this, as I always say, is the most important pocket of the market, the Bank Nifty and the non-banking financials. They make up almost 40% weightage. Bank Nifty का weekly chart देखते हैं. Again, till 2 weeks back, things were till okay, according to my state of flow. Just started to slip. मैं यहाँ पे एक चीज़ I would like to share with you. This just started to slip can lead to multi-legged fall, or this just weakness can be a small little weakness after which it bounces back like this. Now, jab tak relative strength hai, the possibility of a bounce back is there. So, Bank Nifty will play a very important role. There's no doubt about it. Right? And if Bank Nifty fails to play an important role, if Bank Nifty gives us that multi-legged correction, then 24,000 Nifty के लिए कम भी पड़ सकता है. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. What I'm trying to say is the Bank Nifty, the financials are at a very important juncture जहाँ they had just started to slip, and in the next few weeks we will be able to figure out whether we are headed for a major, much more correction than what we have gone so far or not. If we come down to the daily chart, we do not get a lot of confidence. Why? I don't get it. I see multiple range-bound price action. A micro-analysis, short-term look into it, and state of flow is negative. It's weak chart. Again, the same story. वापस previous lows के पास, previous highs थे. वही same story घिसा पिटा. But momentum slowdown का sign नहीं है. Divergences नहीं है. Right? So for a long only trader, मैं क्या करूँगा? I'll just sit back and wait and watch कि क्या ये और फिसलता है? Does it fall more? And if it falls, is it the private sector banks or is it the PSU banks? Because private sector banks में you will see strength in HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank. In the private sector banks, you will see weakness in Kotak Bank and Axis Bank. वो बटा हुआ है. So PSU Bank needs to pick up. PSU Bank leading quadrant पे है. So आपको थोड़ा सा extra ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा with charts like SBI, PNB, Bank of Baroda and all कि क्या PSU Bank, can it pick up? Can it give some support to the Bank Nifty? In turn, the Bank Nifty gives supports to the Nifty. So please keep an eye on these names. We should take a look at the CNX Finance also. Now, this is again not a clearly falling chart, correct? हम लोग ने metals देखा, हम लोग ने Realty देखा, small cap, mid cap देखा, they were all red like this. But finance is still okay. मेरा state of flow has gone off, जो green था, has gone off for the last 3 weeks. But it's making small little candles, nothing much to worry about. Momentum is slipping. Okay, wait out. Daily chart देखते हैं तो clearly एकदम range bound, choppy kind of a formation for multi weeks now. In fact, the entire month of I think May, June, July has been like this. So, is it a bullish chart? No. Is it a bearish chart? No. It was a bullish chart which is slowing down. If it comes down, it will come down to lows from where it had multiple supports. Again, the same thing. Wait out. Wait. Now, the finance and the Bank Nifty are relatively range bound is actually as of now a good thing. It can lead to a reversal on the upside. So keep an eye on the Bank Nifty financials and monitor the top 5-6 names. Very important. और एक जो सेक्टर यहाँ पे which has come down to the weakening is the Nifty PAC, right? Public sector enterprise. If we come and take a look at Nifty PAC, the CNX PAC over here, the weekly charts have started to come down. All right, very, very similar kind of a behavior. Daily charts are in a state of flow negative, very, very clear. Maybe Monday के close के बाद, maybe I cannot predict. हो सकता है एक divergence जैसा मिल जाए. Same. Narrative remains the same. Now, we have discussed the bullish names, which is the leading quadrant names. Most of them are close to supports. Most of them short-term trends are negative. और अगर supports hold करता है, you can look to buy. Wait for the confirmation. हो सकता है वो confirmation, it doesn't come in the next week. It can come after 10 days. But wait for it. Next, हम लोग आए weakening पे, जहाँ पे we found some range-bound charts like the Bank Nifty, CNX Finance. And they are also not that bad. They are also close to supports. Earnings एक-एक करके खत्म हो जाने दीजिए. We might see some movement. If you see any movements from these two, that is the leading and weakening, it's worth it, especially if, within the leading quadrant, it's worth it. अब आते हैं lagging पे. Lagging is only CNX Nifty FMCG. FMCG is the only good-looking chart. This is where the RRG positioning and the charts positioning are not matching that well. Lagging, matlab it's lagging. And if you take a look at the current position, it's just picking up. Matlab momentum of the relative strength is picking up. Matlab downward charts may be bouncing back. This is what RRG is telling us. अगर actual price chart को देखें, we will see, yes, a big underperformer. देखिए कहाँ पे closing है और कहाँ पे इसका all time high है. You understand? That is why the RRG is in the lagging. इसके कारण. And it's picking up a little bit. इसीलिए, if you notice, for the last few weeks, it has kind of gone range bound, especially the last 2 weeks. ये अपने को daily chart पे better दिखेगा. But before we go to the daily chart, the trend, the momentum, the state of flow are improving and they are positive. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. It might give us this breakout. Now, we should be aware of the fact that the recent sharp move of FMCG has come predominantly from only one stock, which is Hindustan Unilever. It is important that stocks like other stocks like an ITC, a Godrej Consumer Durables, a Tata Consumer Durables, these guys should pick up. On the verge of a breakout, साफ दिख रहा है, right? And if this breakout comes, if ITC, Hindustan Unilever and the other stocks picks up, it's not a bad thing. It will give us some bit of a support to the market if it happens, right? Or else it's a lagging thing, it's a lagging quadrant which is picking up. तो हमारा view, हमारा approach क्या होना चाहिए? We should look for long opportunities, especially once the sector sustains above this level, the confidence will be higher. But short नहीं करना चाहिए. You should be looking out for some bullish opportunities. अब रह जाता है the last quadrant, which is the improving quadrant. Now this is where I will start with the second most important sector, IT. It has been improving, but of late it is losing a bit of momentum. Means after a bounce back, the chart must be falling. Is that the case? Yes, that is very much the case. It did give us a retracement of the previous fall, and now it is giving a retracement of the previous rise. Back to back, 3 negative icons, negative trend, momentum negative, not good. Weekly charts are not looking that good. Stay away. Come down to the daily, and we can see after going flattish, it has given one-way correction. इसमें कोई short-term bounce back अपने को दिखाई नहीं है of late. Divergences, nothing as of now. Maybe we can get it sometime next week. But based on what the readings are right now in front of us, they are all negative. Wait, again, second important sector after the banking and the financials. It's fallen quite a bit, quite sharp. Some kind of a short-term bounce back will help. Keep an eye on the top names. Try and evaluate what's happening on the top, let's say, the 5 biggies, the 4 big stocks, and the next ones. Okay? But as of now, same narrative. Stay away. It is still in the improving quadrant. It is an important sector. 1-2 दिन का अगर bounce back मिल भी जाता है Nifty IT को next week, it will support the Nifty. But wait for confirmed signs and signals. उसके लिए you should first look out which stocks momentum is improving. मतलब selling खत्म होके it is probably forming a base and turning around. That's the most important thing. From the Nifty, let's go to auto. And auto is doing nothing great to be significant. कभी भी ये improving से lagging में आ ही सकता है. It's lost a bit of relative strength momentum. We'll get better clarity if we take a look at the chart over here. And weekly chart is not that bad. It has been range bound for quite some time. Trend indicator, momentum indicator is still okay, just gone flat. And इसके कारण मेरा state of flow जो positive था last week तक, it has come off. It is telling me after a move, I'm slowing down. Will the slowdown lead to a correction? The weekly chart is not correcting yet. That's why we go to the daily chart. And in the daily chart, there you go. You see a huge range bound price activity. Recently फिसलना चालू हुआ है. And it's been range bound, up, down, up, down. It did not have the clarity in terms of the direction. Again, not a bad sector if the market finds support. If charts, now over here, 4-wheelers enjoy more weightage than the 2-wheelers, but you never know. You can get this breakout. FMCG भी एक breakout candidate है, and auto, इसके ऊपर will give you better confidence when the weekly charts will scale above this. But are there any signs of reversal from the weekly? No. From the daily? No. So you wait. You take a look at M&M, Maruti, Tata Motors, Hero Motoco, Bajaj Auto, Eicher Motors. These are the top 5-6 names that you should definitely analyze and understand what's happening. But as of now, same logic. I would like to keep it in the watch list and wait for that sign. That brings us to the next sector, which is pharma. Now, this is a little heartbreaking because pharma was improving, and pharma till last week's Wednesday was a fantastic chart. We'll take a look at the daily chart first here. This is a daily chart. Till Wednesday, it was a fantastic looking chart giving nice ebb and flow move on the upside. But it was Thursday and especially Friday's 3% correction, which has spoiled the short-term chart. And what it has done in the weekly chart, it has created a huge outside bar. All of a sudden, the range has expanded. Both direction, ऊपर की तरफ भी, नीचे की तरफ भी. My state of flow is still positive, so I will keep a bullish view. But because the range has expanded like that, I have to be a little cautious and careful. Volatility choppiness रहने वाला है. Stock selection थोड़ा prudently करना पड़ेगा. Now please understand, pharma is very Sun Pharma skewed. मतलब Sun Pharma enjoys a very high weightage. So you have to keep an eye on the others which were earlier very strong, like a DV's lab. Dr. Reddy, will it bounce back? Because it has been correcting for quite some time. ये weakness ज़्यादातर Sun Pharma triggered, उसके बाद the rest has also fallen. View bullish, but wait for signs of revival. यहाँ पे short करना, I don't think so will be a good idea for a derivatives trader, that is. That leaves us to consumer durables, which is looking good. This is a good looking RRG graph, left to right, down to up and everything. It's giving us signs of improvement. It is in the improving quadrant. And then if I come to the consumer durables sectoral chart, take a look at the weekly first. Not bad. My state of flow is positive. Sorry. इसको हटाते हैं. हाँ. My state of flow is positive. Trend momentum all good. Yeah. And it has this resistance and it needs the breakout. It's looking good. मतलब ऐसे charts देखने के बाद, weekly charts देखने के बाद, I will definitely go and take a look at the consumer durables constituents, the stocks, and देखूंगा कि कहाँ पे weekly charts पे ये breakout कौन से stock से मिल सकता है. Which stock or stocks are showing this kind of a strength. Daily chart, short-term charts, however, has come off like most of the sector, most of the markets. So it needs the breakout, right? And definitely not a bearish chart. Look out for some strength from the weekly time frame. Strength from the weekly time frame, I would suggest you one thing, that if you see any kind of a bounce back, वो next week भी आ सकता है, next to next week भी आ सकता है. What the first thing you would like to see is क्या उसने last week का high को cross किया कि नहीं, and has it managed to post a close above last week's high. मतलब weekly close last week, previous week के high के ऊपर होना चाहिए. So if you're looking out for any strength next week, you should be looking out for weekly breakouts. That's the basic thing that you should look out. Now that's our RRG graphs. RRG graphs को छोड़ के भी कुछ 3-4 sectoral charts मैंने recently अपने यहाँ पे watch list में add किया है. I'll quickly take a look at them for you. One is capital market, and capital market's strength going through a correction right at the lowest point. Short-term weakness, long-term charts are fine. Wait for signs of revival. ये capital market, Nifty capital market and Nifty defense में ये आपको दोनों में same चीज़ दिखेगा. In fact, defense has corrected quite a bit. The extent of the correction is quite a bit. The strength of the previous move was very, very strong. And now somewhere here, these kind of charts should bottom out. I'm expecting these charts, especially defense, should form a short-term base in the next, I think, a week to max 2 weeks' time. We should have a short-term base in place. Uske baad ek, maybe a meaningful bounce back. India digital is behaving same, but not as strong as capital market and defense. Same narrative, same view. Weekly charts ठीक-ठाक है, slip हो रहा है. Daily charts weak है. We should wait. And the last one is tourism, which is one of the strongest charts because it was at its all-time high just last week. It's just slipping a little bit. Again, strong chart, state of flow is positive. I will wait for signs of a bit of divergence. Do I have it on my Heiken over here? I don't have it. But again, the charts are pretty strong. Look for long opportunities on the reversal. Overall, as I sum it up, 5 weeks correction is a meaningful correction, number one. After 5-6 weeks of fall like this, we should get some kind of a support and bounce back. But the close at the lowest point of the week, the way it has fallen on Thursday and Friday last week, the sentiment is it's slipping away from our hands. The sentiment is getting weaker and weaker. Now 5 weeks can lead to 6th week, 7th week and more. होने को कुछ भी हो सकता है. Market is at supports. We should be looking out whether this supports would hold or not. There are sectors, but कहीं पे confirmation नहीं है. We don't have a single sectoral chart. We might get in stock charts, but sectoral charts में वो confirmation नहीं है. FMCG has bounced back on the verge of a breakout. Consumer durables is holding well. Maybe we can get a breakout. Bank Nifty and financials will be important. IT इतने हफ्तों से गिरने के बाद एक छोटा सा भी अगर bounce back दे देता है, that will be support to the Nifty. When I sum it all of these things, I sense that we are heading into a market जहाँ पे again stock specific behavior होने वाला है. Earnings है, so stock specific तो होगा ही definitely. And we may not get a significant rally or fall. We might get 2 days of a rise and a 3 day of a fall, something like that. And for traders, the market would like to test our patience. I would strongly request and suggest wait for confirmation and then only go for long trades. Right? That's it from my side. Do let me know if these videos are of any use to you or not. Till then, take care of yourselves. Prepare well for tomorrow's market and yeah, take care. Goodbye.